Hello, hello. This is a new episode of KSM podcast, Growing Business Online with Kristina. And today, my special guest is Vanessa Finnigan, and Vanessa is from Australia. Vanessa, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much, Kristina. It's joy to be here.
Thank you so much, and it's lovely to having you as my special guest speaker today. And can you tell us a little bit about you and who you are, what you do, and as I said, that you are based in Australia?
Yes, well, you know the magazine that I created 14 years ago because you've contributed an article, Holistic Bliss Magazine. And so I created that from scratch over 14 years ago. And before that, I had been working as a freelance writer for magazines and also a psychologist for a longer period even before that. So, it was basically I kept on meeting amazing people while I was interviewing and casting the net wide, I guess, with my own personal interests as I was also counselling and working in those fields. So I was integrating a lot of holistic wellness and interested in spirituality and consciousness, and just kept on meeting people that had recovered from life-threatening illnesses and life-threatening situations. And so that then became an inspiration to write about through the magazines that I was writing for. And then after a number of years, there was the inspiration to create Holistic Bliss Magazine.
Yeah, and this is lovely, and I met you on Instagram. I saw your post, I saw your profile, and in that time, let's say a month ago, I was asking you about some article for your magazine, and thank you so much for giving me opportunity to write about me. And I have one article in your Holistic magazine, which I'm so excited with this because, just I'm too far away from you. I'm to the other part of the world in Europe, in Serbia, Belgrade. You are in Australia, and just imagine how technology and all these kind of things can support people and connect. Just that in, let's say, 30 years ago and much more, we cannot imagine that, but now it's still that we are in the same place, and this is really awesome, and so beautiful.
It's amazing, like the beauty of the online world has allowed us to meet and collaborate, I guess, in different ways.
Yeah, this is so true. And can you tell us a little bit about your background? Did you work in some corporate world, sometime, on just or all your business journey was as an entrepreneur, as solopreneur, how I can say?
Yeah, most of my adult life has been working for myself. So I've really been interested in the entrepreneur's journey. I've worked for two different organisations as a psychologist for a short period of time. So I worked for a private group of psychologists. That was a big chunk of time. And then I went out and into my own private practice. So, I've always experienced mostly, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and when you told me, and I know that you started, having your Holistic Bliss magazine. I mean, it's for now 15 years ago. Am I right?
Just over 14 years, but we're in our 15th. Technically we're in our 15th year. Yeah.
And how did you feel in that time? What were your challenges to start your own magazine, which is so great magazine? And can you tell a little bit for our listeners who will listen to this podcast, what were your challenges to start, and what triggered you to start having your own magazine?
Yeah, so I was inspired to create a community voice and it started off as an 8-page printed magazine on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. And I was doing everything myself. So I was getting in the car and driving around, distributing them. I was designing. I was doing all of the editorial. So I guess that's pretty common for a lot of entrepreneurs when they start a project. They do a lot of it themselves, and then gradually, as the project starts to become a happening thing, then there's more people coming on board to help. And that's what happened with Holistic Bliss. So within, I think it was two editions, we had a graphic designer, and then we had distributors. And so yeah, it just grew from just being on the Sunshine Coast to then through Queensland, and then through Australia, and then with the online world overseas. So our free app has been downloaded in 52 countries. So I think that gives you an indication of how the online world can really expand.
Yes, this is so true. As I said, that I'm one of writer for, and I would love to be a columnist once, because people have opportunity to write and to be columnist for your magazine. And
that's right.
When you started and do all this kind of, it's going to be like a freelancer work. I'm freelancer 13 years and run my team for the web and graphic design. And through online space, I met amazing people, amazing entrepreneurs and clients, by the way, in terms of that. And now as a business and digital marketing coach, I'm super excited because from my expertise, from 13 years in that area, which I'm super, super happy with that.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I think, it's an exciting journey, and it just seems to be more interest in the online world. So yeah, and I think you asked me about challenges too. I didn't really answer that.
Yeah, thank you. So remind me. Yeah,
I wasn't nice. Avoiding it.
No problem. Because why why I asked you, because for listeners, because all of us had some kind of challenges, and there are people who should be inspired by this podcast, just to know if they have to start their online business journey. It's their business journey as entrepreneurs, solopreneur. There are many amazing people who have business idea, but they don't know how to start, or they are stuck to start. They feel fear or something like that. And because of that, I always, and the point of this podcast is to help people to grow in online space, either in offline as well, and to help them from all those stories to when they listen KSM podcast, to help them to move them forward in a business and entrepreneurial journey.
Yes, and it certainly can be such a rich inner process, because you have to really face all of your any limiting belief systems. And that certainly was what happened in the early stages for me of creating the magazine. And I think it definitely helps to have some solid processes with working through that, so that those limiting beliefs don't become saboteurs for the creative journey. So, I mean, to start with, I had limited funds. So I was, there's a saying in Australia, I don't know whether it's also understood in Serbia, but I was living off the smell of an oily rag. So I was living very minimally. So I was really wanting to see if I could get things off the ground. So that was quite a high risk way of doing it. What it allowed me to do was really explore a lot of my belief systems, I guess, anything that was around business and being successful with a magazine. And it obviously wasn't an area that I had been trained in for my whole life. It was a new area. So, yeah, I mean, I look back and I think, that was quite a challenging way of doing it. You can certainly put things in place to make it a lot easier on yourself. And yeah, have people come in and collaborate even from the start, maybe with joint resources, joint funding and things like that. So, but I really enjoyed watching it grow organically. So I did things very differently to a lot of publishing houses or magazines. So a lot of publishing houses will have a big budget and come out with a big glossy magazine, and then if it doesn't start bringing in income straight away, then they might shelve that magazine. So whereas my experience was, it was just a experiencing all of the different aspects of publishing and connecting with the community and just watching it grow organically. So it wasn't the same sort of money-driven, pressure-oriented process that perhaps a lot of business people would experience.
Yeah, and I was I understand you very clear, because I was working 10 years in publishing industry, and it was it's very popular and very famous 100-year-old newspaper company, and it was television in that time. And from there, I started I was working under the pressure, it was a pressure. It was and from that time, I started 2010, because I love publishing. I love, we've done many, daily newspapers, but I was working in the area of marketing, we've done some kind of publishing books. And it was something which I fell in love. And from that time, I started my, journey in terms of in the area of online space. And, we just that my team does some kind of websites and landing pages and other things. So this is how I started my freelancing business. And after that networking part and connecting with some association of business women, and here in my country, but also overseas, abroad. And what is the beauty of that, as we mentioned, that I met one amazing lady who has a self-publishing company. In 2019, I started to be a co-author of the book Global Women in Business, which is I'm super proud of. And that book is published and promoting in Melbourne, Australia. So I have never been there. Just imagine how is huge and how it sounds big, that you're just this is some kind of dream for me. And I'm super excited with this, just to let you know, and know how publishing could be impactful and to influence other people to know about you, and to read your magazine, to read your book, to read your digital copy or whatever. That's really
it sounds like you've had some great marketing and publishing experiences, and you bring so many people together with your podcast. And I've seen a lot of Australians that you've interviewed as well on your podcast, and from all parts of the world. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. And you are also in many parts of the world, as you said, 52 countries. Is that correct? Your magazine is
so we created our free Holistic Bliss app about 7 years ago, and we've now been downloaded in 52 countries via that app. And then we've got our global website, our social media pages, our email database, that we also have statistics where we can see where we're read. So, we've obviously got a very strong and big following with Australia. And then, we've also got, large followings in America and Canada and New Zealand. So yeah, UK, yeah, range of, and Europe. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, that's nice. And Vanessa, can you tell us a little bit about conditions to be a writer in magazine, and how, and also I think that it's based. Can you tell us about based on like who would be so fit a writer and columnist for them? I think it's some kind of wellness or some healthy part of industry, something like that. But maybe I'm not clear with that. Just can you just, for listeners who will listen, that if who wanted to be a columnist and writer for your magazine?
Yeah, so we have a number of free editorial spaces, and we also have our online columnists who've paid for their space each month. And I'm just about to release a book about how to pitch article ideas to editors, how to write, and also working through any limiting beliefs around putting yourself out there in different ways. Like it doesn't just have to be doing selfies and, you know, doing things on TikTok. You know, it can be finding the ways that feel authentic to the individual in terms of putting their work out there, and for more people to know about them and connect with them. So yeah, so that book will be released via our Holistic Bliss website next month. That's actually a great way for people to understand the pitching process. There is a process involved in having an article accepted usually. So there's usually editorial guidelines for most magazines. And so, yeah, this is for free editorial anyway. And so it really does help to know the basics, even with pitching.
And if you said, are you going to be a writer of that book? Editorial, just to be, if I understand you, you said
sorry. I should make it clear that I don't publish any books for other people, but this is a book that I've written myself.
And so you will promote this book, you know?
Yes, through all of my particular channels, but it will also be available on the Holistic Bliss Magazine website, and it will be a good support for people particularly people that are thinking of, maybe they've been working in a field for years, decades, and they want to start, writing and getting their work out to be published in magazines and online publications. Yeah, so that's what the book covers. So it's not about book publishing.
Yeah, I understand now. And when you said that people can, I know that how people can, as you said, be a columnist, or as you said, they have some kind of free editorial part, but also how they can promote there, just like to be on the cover pages of magazine or inside, or just can you tell us a little bit because when they wanted to promote their business, or just to write some column, if they're going to be columnists, they will write, let's say, per week or per month once. I'm not sure about how many times per month to write their articles, but also they can, I think, come with some kind of articles from their area of expertise.
Yes, I mean, I think there's a number of different ways. We have a printed Holistic Bliss News that we've been doing for a few months. That is a great way for people to be advertising their services and products in a printed version that we deliver to 20,000 homes. So yeah, there's different ways, I think, and this is really the biggest message that I'd like to share is it's about really the person tuning in and seeing which ways feel authentic to them. Maybe it feels really authentic to go and do a lot of speaking events and you know, be out in the public in that way. For other people, you know, writing articles and having their insights and what they, all of their offerings shared through an article. Yeah, for other people, it's you know, being very active on social media and things like that. So whatever's going to feel most authentic.
Yeah, that's nice. So for listeners who will listen to KSM podcast in this episode with you, Vanessa, they will have just such a great opportunity to connect with you and to promote themselves and to know for them and to write articles or public speaking or whatever. Maybe that's really amazing. Just imagining 52 countries. That's such a big market. For them.
Yes, and I think for 14 years is a long time for a magazine to be operating, and to have met so many wonderful people during that time and connecting with them, and for them to contribute. And there's a beautiful energy, collective energy that comes with that. And yeah, we're always looking to meet new people and for them to be part of the community.
Yes, and every single person in the world has own story, which is different. And from my for now 4 years podcast, which I started, and as I was having one Facebook group with my partner in Australia, and I was like in back end, she was like front man, and at that time I do challenge 21 day. It was like social media management and digital marketing plan strategy. And in that time, I created 15 videos and 4 podcasts, hosted 4 people. And this is from that challenge how I started it was like Promo Entrepreneur Day. And this year I've done rebranding and KSM podcast. So yeah, this is nice. So we always in interaction, we have such an opportunity to meet amazing people, and I think to discover our new skills. Because sometimes we have something inside of us, but there are people who can see much more than we can see for our own self, just to be with that.
Yes, everybody has something unique to contribute, and I think for me that's what it's all about, and empowering people to be a part of the collective energy.
And it's such a hard when you have much more people in synergy to get impact with higher energy than if you are only one.
Yes,
that's
true.
So true. Yeah. And I know that you have your Facebook. Holistic Magazine has a Facebook group and Instagram. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about Facebook group? Because this is some kind of the one entrepreneurs and future contributors can connect and interact.
Yeah, we would love to have people join us at the Holistic Blissers. So it's BLISSERS. That's our Facebook group, where it's very interactive, and we share the articles each month from our VICs and our columnists, and we also have some amazing giveaways and sharing tips and information. So that would be wonderful for your readers and your audience to be part of that group.
Yeah, that's nice. And I'm so part of that group, and I see it on a daily basis when you upload something, just like to post about columnist, and there are such amazing writers there, and you can just connect with them and do interaction and ask them for help, for support, and just to this is so nice when you are in publishing part in online space.
And it's all free, so people can read the information in the articles and through the videos on our website for free, through our social media pages for free, and via our app for free. So there's no other fees or joining fees for readers to receive that information.
Yeah, that's nice. And do you have what is your, because I ask sometimes my guest speakers, what is your favorite social media platform in terms for your Holistic Bliss magazine, let's say?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I really love Instagram in many ways. I think it's a nice visual,
Yeah,
and
especially
you know,
because of your magazine, because
yes,
visuals are so important to people to attract them to read
yeah,
about.
yeah. But I think each platform has, its advantages, and I feel grateful that we have the opportunity to share across all of those platforms that are in existence. So, yeah, just love the online format. I think it's very expansive for all involved.
Yeah, and as I said, I as in the area of digital marketing space and coaching and all kind of things, I was present much more on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I started building much more my Instagram because, and when you manage 3 platforms, sometimes it's not easy peasy way, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. And thankful to Instagram and my business page on Instagram, I met you. That's because there are
Yes,
people
that's
there
right.
because of people and who use some kind of their favorite platforms and where is their target audience and target group. Just we really need to connect on all those kind of platforms. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, without it being a stress, because I know some people are not on any sort of social media. They just work in a different way, and that works for them. But people that are interested to be online and on social media, then they can really do it in their own way rather than sort of feel pressure that they've got to be on all of the platforms all the time. And
Yeah, it takes time, but also that when people, this is the way how you build your community. And I think that's for business, it's so I think that if you have your website, that people wanted to buy something or go somewhere, they just put and type on Google or other, and see about that person, about that company, this company, what they wanted to buy or what they want to. So, and I think it's so important in nowadays that people have some kind of, any kind of page, is it going to be on any social media, favorites platform, social media, or just to have website? Because people wanted to see that their credibility and they are so professional, I mean, that it is so important for them. Yeah, this is lovely. This is lovely podcast. This is lovely episode with you, Vanessa. And you share such amazing story, and yeah, I love that because this is my new experience, and every single guest speaker has got amazing energy and different experience for our listeners. So before we ramp up our call today and our podcast, I asked you many questions, and I can ask you, maybe you will, again, my guest speaker, maybe when you promote that book. So whenever you want, I always invite my guest speaker to be once, twice, and many times in my podcast. But do you have any message for people just to encourage them to move forward and to start their business as you started your Holistic Bliss 14 years ago, and just to connect with you, just like on social media and website. And I will put all information below this podcast for people to connect with you and listeners.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much, Kristina. Yeah, I would love to share some of my insights around really following your bliss. That for me was really important, and that curiosity and that joy actually creates so much. And I think if people are really following their intuition and being able to grow their business by tuning in and really listening to themselves, and really trusting those intuitive hunches, there's absolute magic that can unfold from doing that.
Yeah, that's really nice. And yeah, and can you just repeat once again about your website and social media pages, and
yes.
yeah, that people can connect with you. And this podcast is going to be on Spotify, it's going to be on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. You know, I'm going to do some kind of Apple app, Google app, I mean, and also I'm on the way to find the other platforms for delivering my episode of KSM podcast.
Okay, so people can join us on Facebook. We've got a Holistic Bliss Magazine business page, a Holistic Blissers Facebook group. We also have our website, which is holisticblissmagazine.com, and the app can be downloaded for free. So for iPhone, they can go to the Apple shop, or for Android phones through Google Play.
Yeah, that's really nice, you know. And yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you today. And
Likewise.
It's such a pleasure having you as a founder and owner, how I can say, of Holistic Bliss Magazine, which is such a great pleasure for me to host you far away from Europe to Australia. Just imagine that. It looks like dreams sometimes, but it's true. It's really true. Yes.
Thank you so much, Kristina. And I know it's morning where you are, and it's evening here in Australia, and yet we've connected, and it feels like you're in the same room. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you, to speak to you today. I'm super, super excited, and I will see you in the next podcast, let's say this year or next year, whenever you want. Thank you so much. And, you know, just what I can say, it was lovely talking to you. I'm so, so honored and pleasure to be with you today.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being my guest speaker, and see you very soon. Bye for now.